Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by Bet365. Bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets when you use the promo code Leading Off. It's me, Joey P. That is the Welsh, and it's you, the Peanuts, the Cracker Jacks, hanging out with us. It's Friday. The Baron has the right idea. Friday beers, Welsh. Let's go. Let's get into the Friday beers. Special announcement, though, before we get into all of that. We're also going to be doing the show a little early on Monday. So instead of 12:30 start, it's going to be a noon Eastern start. Just set your calendars appropriately. Want to get that out of the way. We got some important business stuff to do. Sometimes the business of the business has got to take over. So we're doing that. But we will be here. Leading Off will be here. Welsh will be here. I will be there. And Welsh, when we're here, we are dangerously close to 20,000 subscribers.
No. When we're here on Monday, 100% going to be at 20. We have to be there.
Yeah,
we are.
I hope
20, so. We are 20 something people away as we record this, which means we will then be announcing. Maybe our Monday meeting is about the 20K. That we'll be then announcing our special show, our special 20K show, which you guys, what we have planned, will be phenomenal. So
it will
be good.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time as always.
In theory.
Now I hate to bring us down here after all the good times in the Friday beers. But yesterday there was only one home run call from all the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks that actually hit. Just one. Amazing. It was a terrible slate. It was tough. Limited games is a Thursday. So that was kind of bad. What made it worse, the only person who got the home run call was Mike Mayer. And even worse than
worser.
The home run call was Ryan Mountcastle, his boyfriend. So, I don't know.
This happen?
Yesterday was a bummer. That was a big bummer. So I want to wipe the slate clean. Congratulations to Mayer, though, for getting the one long home run call. So the leaderboard obviously is not going to look too different today when we get to the home runs. But
that's hard to do. That's hard to do, by the way, to have one home run call and then for it to be a character involved with Mayer. That is pretty crazy. But
well, Tim's saying, isn't Joey P Italian? His family should at least count for 20,000 alone. You're right. And look, we got family here on the show. Even my daughter subscribed to the show because they're good kids. But I don't think they're frequent watchers. They do not care. But they're subscribers. They support. The family supports. That's what they do. But speaking of support, the Mets rotation is going to get some support. Christian Scott, a guy we've been talking about for weeks now, is going to get the opportunity. 24-year-old pitching prospect for the New York Metropolitans. He is going to get a shot here. 5th round selection. He's got a 3.2 ERA, a .71 whip, 36 strikeouts, 6 walks in 25 innings. So I don't know how long this is going to be, Welsh, but I'm going to try to live in the moment and be excited about tomorrow because tomorrow is Christian Scott Day.
It is very exciting. We've been speculating about it. Hauser ended up having another one of those starts, another one of those things. It's not in his spot in the rotation, but this is what we're talking about. Like, they weren't going to hold him back for this long. Some really good positives on Christian Scott. You know, his stuff has been maintaining. 3-4 pitch pitcher. He's given up only 1 hit in 2 straight games each. So 2 hits over 2 games, which is nuts. But check this out. He has given up 12 total hits this season. 7 of them have been for home runs. So there's a little bit of a home run problem, which is kind of apropos to me to Brandon Pfaadt.
Were they solo home runs? How many of them? Like, I'm asking because there's some great pitchers back in the day that were gangbusters for that, where they would give up a lot of solo home runs because they were just pounding the zone. They didn't care. You're going to get one, that's fine. You're just not going to do it when someone's on. That's
I can confirm 4 of the 7 are at least solo homers. I don't know about the other 3.
That was an old Kurt Schilling thing before he went crazy. He was notorious for giving up solo home runs because he would challenge guys when he didn't have to, and sometimes they would burn him. But he was like, "Hey, I'm throwing strikes. I'm trying to work through the lineup. This is what I'm trying to do."
It's very reminiscent. I'm telling you, it's very reminiscent of Brandon Pfaadt. Like, Brandon Pfaadt was a fastball sweeper, changeup guy. That's what Christian Scott is. Velos are maybe like a tiny bit lower than what Brandon Pfaadt does, but he like sits around 93, 94. But if you sit in the zone a little bit too much, if that sweep doesn't sweep enough, and then you're pounding the fastball in, you're going to give up some homers. So it's a little bit more of a fly ball guy. So it's something to watch. Here's a positive. I think they're going up against the Rays. The Rays are like bottom 6 in the league in homers per game. So they don't hit a bunch of homers. So it's either going to bend and, it's going to be a great day to have Richie Palacios or Yandy Diaz or something like that over the weekend, or it's just a better matchup for a guy that hasn't been giving up a bunch of hits, can rack up some strikeouts. He had 36 strikeouts over those 6 starts so far this year to only 12 hits. Doesn't walk a ton. This is what we've been building for. I think I wrote in my prospect to stash article, I'd pretty much start him in any capacity unless it was a team like the Braves. Here's the unique thing. I believe it's the Braves next week. So he's going to get this start against the Rays, and then he would line up. I think
maybe not, because Tyler McGill's still working his way back, and he could end up going back into the rotation. Here's a weird question. I can't believe I'm even asking this. Severino's pitched well. Buehler has pitched well. Christian Scott has shown a lot of talent. Is the Mets, and Kodai Senga is working his way back from injury. Is the Mets rotation good? Did I wake up this morning? Is the Mets rotation actually good?
Is it good? That's a tricky question. Mets and good rotation.
I forget I said it.
I think it toes the line of being good.
Severino's been strong. There. I mean, it's funny. Severino's usually the perfect guy that I would be like all over this year in fantasy and drafts. I would have been all like, yeah, like post-hype, whatever guy coming out of the Yankees, new change. But it was the Mets. So I was like, oh, this can't be good. So I avoided it, but he's been terrific. Kyle Bradish, 4 2/3, 1 run, 4 hits in his return start against the Yankees. Welsh, any thoughts on what you saw out of Bradish yesterday? Limited in terms of, what the innings were going to be yesterday. I think we all knew that going in, but tough challenge against the Yankees. Looked like he passed with flying colors, and his arm is still attached to his body.
I would agree. all good things, by the way.
Is that a low bar.
33% CSW percentage, had a bunch of whiffs, 38% on the slider, a couple on the four-seam fastball. So he was setting up. He got to 84 pitches, which is pretty great. There was no big, crazy velo decreases, which I think would have been the really big thing to look for. Looked like vintage-ish Bradish. Big win for anybody that had gotten Bradish in drafts. People had dropped him and picked him up. He just goes right back into it. And he kind of lines up, just talking about Christian Scott, he kind of lines up with Bradish being good, that we'll see how far this goes as far as the other pitcher that was on the prospect list, Cade Povich, that I had talked about, and see if he gets a start soon. But like Bradish being good is one of those reasons that pushes back them experimenting or anything like what John means. But yeah, I'm all in. I'm great that Bradish is back. He is a definite buy if anybody is just kind of like waffling about it, because coming off of that injury, going 84, I don't care about any big crazy limits. That's positive. That's better than I think what we're probably going to see out of Walker Buehler on Monday. I'd be shocked to see him go 85 pitches or something like that. So this is the injury that I can kind of look past a little bit.
And Cade Povich has no relation to Maury Povich, right?
You should.
No, the reason I ask is it's not a joke, because a lot of people don't know this. His dad, Shirley Povich, was a renowned baseball writer.
His dad was named Shirley?
His dad was named Shirley Povich. I want to say Shirley Povich is also on the Ken Burns documentary, Baseball, if memory serves, too.
Cade, he is not your father.
Is Joe completely making this up? You just don't know.
I would imagine a guy like Cade Povich has been asked that 300 to 400 times per week. So I'm going to guess no, or we would have heard about it. So
but Shirley Povich was an American. He was a sports columnist. I want to say not Washington Post.
And that was Maury's dad?
That was Maury's dad.
Well, Maury I will bet
was a journalist before the "you're not the father" stuff. Just saying.
I will bet you we will get a nice quippy little article from The Athletic or something very soon when Cade Povich gets called up, if he is related to Maury. I promise.
There you go. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. That's the perfect thing for the Baron's on fire today. Baron's crushing in the chat.
Oh, lots of don't call me Shirleys.
Yeah, it's good. It's a classic.
That was Leslie Nielsen, right?
Oh, Sabo's Goggle says he is not the father. I didn't think it was the father. I just didn't know if he was a relative. Just saying.
But he also might just be doing, he is not the father. He might
I know, but like that's like
Don't call me Shirley is Leslie Nielsen, right?
That is Leslie Nielsen from Airplane.
Did you know that I worked with somebody who I don't have much detail I want to give, but they were directly no. Like, I'll tell you offline, but they were
gun with Chris Welsh.
They were directly related with Leslie Nielsen, and I got all like to the estate and everything like that. Like they were a direct relative of Leslie Nielsen. So I always got the stories about Leslie Nielsen before he passed.
There's stories about Leslie Nielsen?
Yeah.
Don't call me Shirley. Stories?
Yeah, they're fine.
Or after the show stories.
After the show stories.
All right, let's tell a story about Francisco Lindor. Drove in 4 runs off the bench yesterday. I kept saying he was one of my buy lows. In fact, on TV, I did a whole segment on him last week on last Sunday show. Just buy. Like, he is a good player. He has gotten off to a bad April, a slow start, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. Buy. Okay, this is a little annoying, but not, something we didn't kind of think was in the range of outcomes. Jon Singleton, 2 for 3, 2-run homer. He was starting at first base yesterday. Loperfido on the bench. Any concerns here or worries here that Loperfido is going to get behind Singleton and Abreu is going to come back up and Loperfido is going to get kind of, downsized out here?
No, because Loperfido has been playing in the outfield and he hasn't been playing first base. So I think that's the positive. He made a bonkers play the other day that bounced off of the wall. He barehanded it and threw the guy out at second. So no, I've actually said, I think that might be the good thing to look for Loperfido, is that they're not throwing him at first base and making his only spot. He'll start to move over there. What is interesting is I think they sat him just the other day. God, was it versus a lefty? And then Singleton was it? I don't understand the Singleton thing, though. He just had a couple RBI and he's doing that. I just don't think at this point positively that Loperfido is going to be affected by whatever would happen in the future with Abreu. To me, this is a Singleton Abreu situation now because they made a commitment that Loperfido is going to stick up there. But
is Singleton worth a pickup then? Because like Jerry's asking here in the chat, I guess in deeper leagues, at bats, yeah.
In a deeper league, I would consider it. I don't know if I'd be cutting him for anything like really positive. I think he's going to continuously struggle, but yeah, deeper league.
By the way, I was right. Shirley Povich was in the Ken Burns baseball documentary. He's the very old guy with the very big horn rim glasses that tells a lot of these great stories, like about like the 1919 White Sox kind of stuff. Like great stuff, man. Amazing guy.
We need a comeback of like those really good like half-inch thick glasses. Like people wearing those. Like,
well, maybe 20,000, maybe 25,000.
Where
we just wear enormous glasses on the show.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, we have the ring lights that are just.
I think we should let the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks pick the glasses at 25K
or like 25K.
Oh, okay. 20 we've already decided upon. I like 20. The 20 we're sticking with the 20. All right, one more thing to get to here. Walker Buehler scheduled to make a season debut on Monday. Celebrate, everybody. May is Walker Buehler month. There you go, everybody. Your expectations for Walker Buehler rest of season. Do you think there's any way he gets back to form? Because a few years ago, Walker Buehler, I think we forget, was a dominant fantasy pitcher. But unfortunately, injuries have kind of derailed that the last 2 years. So what is your hope? Like, if he is a mid to back end starting pitcher here, is that enough on the Dodgers to make you excited in fantasy?
Yeah, if he was that on the Dodgers. I'm not super optimistic. You could tell that by the open earlier. I don't know how deep he's going to go. The velo has been kind of a struggle. They just brought him back last year. Like he was going to come up and he was going to get some time, and then they just shut it down and they were completely done with it. The babying has me worried to the point that I don't know if we're going to get the old school Walker Buehler, but it's all speculation. So like at this moment, without seeing him in the majors or anything like that, no, I don't have insanely crazy high expectations because the rehab stuff has not been great. We'll see it when he gets out there. But if he is 85% of what we've seen in Walker Buehler before, that's going to do very well on the Dodgers. That's going to do very well. But yeah, I'm worried this is a 80 pitch pitcher that's lower velos, getting hit up a bit more, and is chasing what we had before. But that doesn't really matter. Like if you own him, you put him out there, maybe on a good start, you sell him or something like that. But he's not like available in spots. But I would pick him up. I would see what we have out of him. But my expectations are low.
Wonky Penguin said that she had a massage appointment earlier this week, right? But she seems still pretty angry. And like, I don't know if that really worked to ease the tension. She's throwing stones here in the chat. Wyatt Langford is this year's Jordan Walker. Absolutely torrid spring and then poof. Ouch. Burn, Welsh.
Well, but kind of similar in that,
Walker, but still, if I got a massage, I don't know if I'd be that angry at Wyatt Langford.
I'm not a big massage person, by the way.
No, I'm not either, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. You like chiropractic? Like, nah, I don't know any other.
That scares the hell out of me. I don't want anybody cracking my back. No,
I remember I went one time at this ankle thing, and I was like, yeah, please don't do anything crazy. And they're like, okay, and I was like, so I don't like any of those things. So it would actually make me more angry. But the interesting thing is, like Langford, is hitting for average-ish and not putting up a bunch of counting stats like Jordan Walker was last year. I think it's going to go in a different path. You know what? Let everybody go and drop your Wyatt Langford, your Walker Langford. Go drop your Walker. I'll go pick
drop your Walker Texas Ranger.
That's right. I will go pick them up. I think it's silly to be losing your mind, but I understand when you like paid really high early prices. There's actually a lot of similarities with Langford and Walker right now, but I think it'll go in a different direction with Wyatt.
All right, I want to talk about a little rookie lookie. I want to talk about Coby Mayo here for a second, if I may, because I think we need to. 2 for 6, another homer, 5 RBI yesterday. Norfolk is amazing. I want to go see a baseball game in Norfolk. Like I remember, like other teams have been through there, but over the years. But what do you make?
That close to you?
Norfolk, Virginia? Yeah. No, not even.
I don't know.
Slightly.
I don't under
could
you
I drive
East Coasters.
There? Yes.
I don't have this. Okay, but see that's insane to me. You're like, no, it's not close at all. But I could drive there. You East Coasters,
I could drive
like
there. It's like 6 hours. Like I don't want to drive 7.
We have like 7 states that are like within reach of each other. Like here in Arizona, everything is 5 hours away. If
Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, yes. Like even Maryland is not that far away. Virginia is a bit of a hike. I will look. I'll tell you. You talk about Coby Mayo, and I'll tell you how far I am from Norfolk.
Yeah, well, one thing not mentioned is Coby Mayo has homered now in 4 straight games. He has I believe he's number 2 in baseball in homers behind Lou Perfito, who's gone. 31 RBI in 30 games so far this year. He's hitting 333, and almost 400. He's essentially got a 3.4, almost 7 batting slash right now. His strikeout rate's a little bit high, which is maybe one of the things they would have as like an excusey type of thing. But he is absolutely he's the destroyer of baseballs. That is
there a place for him though?
Yes. Ramon Urias. Okay. Bye. Jorge Mateo. Bye. You guys can go, and then they can have Westberg be the everyday second baseman, and Coby Mayo can be the everyday third baseman.
Then Jackson Holiday gets buried at Norfolk. Is that what happens?
Yeah, welcome. That's what he's doing right now. 100%. That is how it's going to have to go. The only other caveat to this is like you could have Coby Mayo be the guy that goes and plays first base, but they don't want to give up on Ryan Mountcastle. So there's only so much. They've got
his agent, Mike Mayer, would not be happy about that.
Oh, we would have like a whole 30-minute memoriam to Ryan Mountcastle,
which is ironic because if Mountcastle lost his job to a guy named Mayo, which is our nickname for Mayor behind the scenes.
Cross fingers.
That's like fabulous.
If the Orioles want to do it, they can do it, but you do have this balance of like how much of this Norfolk roster do we want to have on our majors? You want to have veteran leadership, guys that have been through the ringer, and you've also seen like what happened with Jackson Holiday. So I think they're going to kind of slow roll some of these, but we are getting to we can all scream about prospects and stuff like that. Well, I can do it. Oh, Cummins or Wyatt Junior coming out. I don't know what we're doing with Coby Mayo. I don't know what we're doing right now. He has nothing to prove there except maybe stop striking out so much. It is 27 at the time. That screams 30% at the majors. Outside of that, though, he's just destroying everything. He really has nothing to prove to be there. And I really do think they should give him a shot and see what it's about. But, maybe Heston Kjerstad can go away, and then Mayo can go between first and third and DH. Maybe play him in the outfield.
It's an embarrassment of riches. It really is. It is stunning.
So, I don't remember a team that has had this level of riches at AAA. Man. They still have Connor Norby, Cade Povich, who we talked about, Maury's kid, all of those things. Those guys are still there. They're still there.
I'm trying to think. It's a great question. If you got an answer, who had this sort of abundance of talent
at one level that was close to one level
at one time that also had guys who were young and fit? I mean, I can only imagine. You have to go back to one Braves organization in the 90s, perhaps, into the Dave Justice, Ron Gant, Chipper Jones kind of stuff. And then other guys came up and then they had to move those guys to make room for the next group. That might be it, but that's a tough one. By the way, 6 hours, 11 minutes, Norfolk is away from me.
I mean, that would be like me going
and when the bathroom breaks and lunch, that's going to be 7.5. Let's be honest.
Okay. But it is true. Like you guys, you'll be like, well, this is over in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia is an hour 15. That's fine.
There you go.
That's fine. Once I'm going over 2 hours for something, I don't know. 2 hours is like I'm not a big car driving guy. I don't like long drives on the highway stuff. No. I'd rather get on a plane and 2 hours be somewhere totally different. Like Nashville was 2 hours and change for me. That was so much fun when we went there. We had the best time. It was
worst plane ride ever. I just
for you. Well,
yeah, I'm going to have to request, I'm going to have to get my own private jet or something from FantasyPros.
But they were paying for the flight. I don't know why you booked.
They put me on Southwest though. And I was sitting there and I was like,
you put you on. So you booked your own flight.
Well, it was
I kept telling you, book your flight. Yeah. And what happened?
Who do I get though? Who do I get that I can actually not be squeezed like this?
Fly United. That's all I fly.
And it feels so good.
All right, let's get to 3 up and 3 down. By the way, a new episode of The Cycle dropped too. Make sure you guys check that out. Mayer with his 1 home run and Ryan Wormley getting it on there and talking about baseball. Hour-long podcast is great. They do fantastic work. It's only on the audio feed, so if you haven't already subscribed there, while you're subscribing to stuff, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Again, we're like, 20 away from 20K? Let's go. Let's get after it, folks. Right now, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching it back, whatever it is, tell your friends, subscribe, comment below. You might win this fantasy baseball championship belt from Trophy Smack. It's glorious for just being a subscriber and a commenter on the channel, but keep the comments clean. Please. Positivity. We're a place of positivity. You can have constructive criticism. No. Let's keep things positive. I like that. We have a positive environment. We have a good vibe here. As the kids.
How many times have you seen someone with some garbage, crappy comment win a trophy thing? Let's just point that out. You're not gonna.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Every comment's a thing, but if you say something garbage, I'm deleting.
By the way, shout out also because the winner of or the best of April betting, I sent over to Blaine. They're going to get in touch with you over on Betting Pros. No, I will get the name here. I'll bring that up again, but they are getting a hat or t-shirt of their choice from Betting Pros or Fantasy Pros. So exciting times there. Oh. Free stuff. Again, bettingpros.com/leading off. That's how you get that. But I've got it here somewhere. The name of the winner was, I want to say it correctly here, Chad Petty. Chad Petty, 21. So they're going to hit you up, Chad. I made sure that I sent that in today. So good on you. It's a new month. New month of May. You
made that feel like there was going to be this big pronunciation of a name. I was like, here we go. And you're like,
I'm old now. I can't see it because it's far away. What's his name? Tom Petty. What's his name? What the hell?
You play the best old person like that face.
I remember Shirley Povich and I were once on a train from Washington, D.C. all the way to Philadelphia. And we were on that train with Ty Cobb. And let me tell you, those were some colorful stories from Ty Cobb. I did not care for them whatsoever. He was a mean old nasty man, and I didn't like him at all. He also ran a liquor store after he retired. A lot of people don't know that.
I just want to let you. I didn't want to interrupt.
I could go for a half hour.
I know. I know.
Let's go 3 up, 3 down. Jose Altuve, 3 for 5 with an RBI and a stolen base. Against the Guardians. Kyle Harrison, 5 innings, but most importantly, Welsh over 7 strikeouts. There you go. Feeling good about that one. One of Welsh's best yesterday. Juan Soto, still hot, although the Yankees, they kind of get it down because they have struggled a little bit against the Orioles lately. The Nats offense gets shut out. That's a down. Adrian Hauser, this is a down, 4 runs, 5 innings. I want him out of the rotation. I want to see Budo. I want to see Christian Scott. That's it. That's all I want to see. And Carlos Rodon, my number 1 sell high from last week, 7 runs, 6 earned. Told you. Let's go. You missed the window. I hope you listened. Look, we have been really good about the buy low, sell high around these parts for the last 4 weeks. So
pretty good.
Please, for the love of God, listen to us. We know what we're talking about when it comes to that. Injuries, Welsh. Nick Pivetta, 5 Ks, 4 runs and 3 innings in his rehab start in AAA. Kyle Hendricks, 7 strikeouts, 2 runs, 5 innings. Everyone's on rehab assignment. Gerrit Cole is targeting a mid-June return. Are you buying that? Let's say June 15th over under Gerrit Cole.
Well, I'm buying that, but you were the one that was like, get out of the Gerrit Cole business. I think we're fine in the Gerrit Cole business.
Oh, you think you're fine? So you're going to get more than 12.5 starts. That's my over under.
Yeah. Give me whatever the math is when he comes back. I think he comes back on time, mid-June. And I don't think there are any real setbacks or anything like that. But also, I'm a big old stupid injury dummy. So don't listen to me. If a guy is on the field, I am blinders to the potential injury. I'm like, Mike Trout, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's just how I am. Like, I'm like, listen, there's a great value on it. If you don't have to pay what he could be price, why would you not want it? But there's injury risk. So to Joe's point, he gets back. Like, the time, I can tell you this, the one thing we should agree on, you don't trade him or consider trading Gerrit Cole up until he's back in the majors and doing Gerrit Cole stuff. There's no other point that's worth it because when he comes back and does Gerrit Cole stuff,
I disagree.
Because when he's back, then he is back to
but
that.
What if he doesn't
get
there? What the minute he gets announced for rehab assignment is when I'm doing it, because
candies and
nuts my nightmare is, well, he went out there in the rehab assignment, didn't feel too good, and then you've waited all this time for nothing. No. if you're going to get out of the Gerrit Cole business, and I recommend trying to, just to see, that's what I would do. We can disagree on this. This is perfectly fine. We're still friends. We could disagree on this, but I have zero tolerance right now for this stuff. Like, it has been a rough year. Perhaps if pitching hasn't been such a complete hot mess all year with injuries, maybe I'd feel differently, but I don't. It's been a hot mess. So if you're going to give me a pitcher that's healthy, that I know is healthy, that I know is good for the rest of the season for Gerrit Cole, who might not be Gerrit Cole level, I will take that pitcher and I will run with it. Or give me two of them.
What you should do, by the way, is somebody came up with this. Was it yesterday that we did your funny bit where you were the lawyer? It's called 1-800-JOE-WINS, and the number works out. I wonder what that goes to. 1-800-JOE-WINS should be your new bit
right now.
When you get curmudgeon about something, and you should be like, I'm gonna get you what you want to get a return for Gerrit Cole before it all falls apart. I'm gonna get you. That should be.
I'm just telling you. I mean, we've been to how many times does a guy have elbow issues, get shut down, and it all works out? When we all go, oh, it's gangbusters. It's great. I'm so glad we dodged that bullet. I'm just trying to remember when that was. Yeah. Masahiro Tanaka. They're all Masahiro Tanaka was the one guy that I remember. He came back and pitched after, but he was never quite the same guy. Let's not pretend like he wasn't. And he did not have the surgery. Everybody remembers that. He did the other stuff, and he was going to wait.
Do you want out from Bradish? Do you want out from Senga? Yeah. Do you want out from
Senga? Wasn't an elbow. It was a shoulder, and it was a different issue. The elbow specifically, tell me when the last time somebody had one of these issues, shut it down, Gordon Ramsay style, and then came back and everything was just perfully fine.
For the rest of the season. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's get a hat. The 1-800-JOE-WINS. That should be. We need the.
Tell me when that was. You can't. Well, so you're dodging the question.
No, I'm not dodging the question. Like, I don't have all.
You're dodging the question. Don't tell me what's going on. I know. I remember.
But I also
2012 there was a fella who had the Tommy John surgery and he came back and he was terrible.
Man. I think you're also lumping every single pitcher with every single type of arm issue in together, and you're like,
no,
okay,
you're doing that. You're doing that with Senga. You just said shoulder. I was like, no, Senga's got a shoulder issue, not an elbow. I'm talking about guys with elbow issues get shut down with elbow inflammation. Everybody comes or elbow strains or UCL issues, and everything's fine when they come back. It doesn't happen, in my opinion.
Here's the positive. You want to hear? You know what the positive is about that?
Sure.
It's not a full season. It's a half a season for Gerrit Cole. So can he be good for half of a season? I think so.
And this is exactly why you sell him, because there's enough Welshes out there.
1-800-JOE-WINS.
And I don't think so. I can't wait now. Now this is going to be my mission in life, is to watch the Gerrit Cole stuff. This is going to be like Mike Trout all over again. So it's like, I don't want to be the Grim Reaper. It's just the facts. It's just the world we live in. Let's move on. Max Scherzer's coming back because he's an animal. He's 412 years old, but he doesn't care. He's making another rehab start next week.
Gonna sell him?
No.
Oh,
back in the thumb. He's got a back in the thumb. Is it a UCL issue? Why do you keep changing the narrative? Why do you keep changing the narrative? You're like, oh, how about Kodai Senga? Oh, what about this guy? Like, oh, he's got a neck issue.
He's got
a thumb.
All his pictures, ugly as a dog.
I'm just saying, you keep changing the narrative. I'm being very specific about why.
I'm just being pokey because you want to trade all the pictures all the time.
It's a Friday, and I'm easy to poke right now.
Yeah,
let that be known. On a Friday, I'm easy to poke. Christian Javier, minor league rehab assignment this weekend, and then Braxton Garrett fired 5 shutout innings on Wednesday in a rehab start. I mentioned earlier, shoulder issue.
Trade him,
Tyler McGill. He's going to be back on a rehab assignment in AA. Don't like, again, I've seen Tyler McGill. I know what he is. It's fine. Masataka Yoshida, by the way, could end up needing surgery on the left thumb, so that's going to keep him out even longer. Not that he was like crushing things, but fun fact, the most productive offensive outfield in baseball this year has been the Red Sox. What do you think of that?
I'm actually surprised about that, but it makes sense because of how good Jarren Duran has been. If they're
Tyler O'Neill has been unbelievable.
Tyler O'Neill's been insane. You know, I'm going to bring this back to me and give me some positivity. One of my bold predictions in the preseason was that Masataka Yoshida, who, by the way, I want to remind everybody, was being drafted as the first of the outfielders. I said he was going to be the third most productive outfielder on that team. And Jarren Duran and Tyler O'Neill have been more, but they're also probably looping in Rafaela, Wilyer Abreu. And if you take all of that, they have gotten like a ton of production out of that team. But I think that stat is lifted by Tyler O'Neill specifically. Like Jared Duran has been awesome, but Tyler O'Neill has just been like on another world. But that selling opportunity closing.
Some of the comments in the chat are hilarious, by the way. give Joe some stewed prunes, he'll be fine.
There's so many things. Like, God, if we could get that old look of yours on a shirt, 1-800-JOE-WINS.
Well, everyone says I look like Robert De Niro when I do that, and I do.
Oh,
you
do.
Well, I look like Robert De Niro anyway. Like when I do the face, it's a good face. It's pretty good. But when I do this, I look exactly like when De Niro is at the end of Goodfellas, and he's telling Lorraine Bracco, I got the fur coats. You're right down there. Yeah, just go. Go around the thing. And he's gonna have her whacked, and like the two guys are waiting for her in the thing. And she's like, no, I'm good. He's like, no, go in there. No. What are you doing? Why are you getting in the car? Why are you driving away? I was trying to whack you. What are you doing?
A lot of pokes and whacks today. Yeah, I know.
Everyone's getting whacked and everyone's getting poked. That's why you come for leading off and stay. That's why you stay. All right, this is a fun Friday show. Let me tell you. You know what else is fun on a Friday? Best bets
of the day
with Joey P and the Welsh. Let's go, everybody. Make sure you're placing your bets over at bet365. Bet $5. Get 150 in bonus bets when you do with the promo code leading off only at bet365. Welsh, I'm going to keep it simple today. I understand George Kirby's going against the Astros. I don't care. I'm going Oppo because the 4.5 number on the strikeouts is too low for me and the juice is too much. I'm going to the alt line 6.5. I'm pushing the envelope. I'm pushing my luck. It's probably not going to work, but I'm going to try anyway. I'm going to take a page out of Welsh's book too. San Diego Padres first 5 with Dylan Cease on the mound against Arizona. Padres minus 118. That's where I'm going on this one. Red Sox plus 1.5 on the run line. You get plus 150 money on this against the Twins. And then keeping it simple. Some money line wins today. The Yankees at minus 168, the Cardinals at minus 290, and the Padres with Dylan Cease, who's been terrific this year on the mound, at minus 110. You put them together, you get plus 300. That's right, 3-1. Yankees, Cardinals, Padres. That's my parlay of the day. Welsh, what do you have for the people on Fun Friday?
Oh, I want to back that George Kirby so bad.
But you want to back that Kirby up?
I can't because Houston is the least K percentage team in all of baseball. They strike out the least. So I just.
But you know what? I'm putting my faith in George Kirby. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. But there we go. Okay, go ahead. What do you have?
All right. You mentioned Boston. Boston is in my play of the day because I'm going to take their first 5 money line, which I think Bet365 actually has one of the best lines out there at minus 115. Boston is 8th in scoring through the first 5. Minnesota is only 18th. But this is about Tanner Houck, who is on the mound, who's given up only 7 earned runs in 6 starts this year. I also am very, very intrigued with his K numbers. So anything I can do to be involved. I get the full game line on what you have with the run line. I could play that as well. But this is a pure Boston is either if they're tied, then we push. If they're up by 1 run through the first 5, I win. So we're going Tanner Houck. We're backing him on the Boston first 5. Seattle and Houston. That's how I'm backing George Kirby today because I'm going first 5 under 4.5 runs in that game because, Ronel Blanco has been very good this season. I don't believe he's given up more than 2 earned runs all year. You've got Kirby, who has back-to-back starts without giving up a run. Also in it, Seattle 6th worst in first 5 scoring. So, if you are going to say, okay, George Kirby is going to kind of shut them down to some degree, what can Seattle do against Blanco? Well, they're one of the worst, scoring teams through the first 5. So I'm going under 4.5 runs through that first 5. I really like that one. And then it's kind of a 2-piecer. I got 2 alt strikeout lines. You're playing an alt strikeout line, I believe, on George Kirby, correct? Yeah, you're doing the alt line.
I'm playing it today.
I have 2 alt lines. Don't want to call them ladders or anything like that I'm going to go too crazy with it, but here are the 2. Tanner Houck, who we mentioned, up against Minnesota at plus 7 strikeouts. That is at plus 145. I think he just had a 9 strikeout game, and Minnesota strikes out a ton. And then Sonny Gray up against the Chicago White Sox. White Sox are weird sometimes, and that they can be the worst, and then all of a sudden they don't strike out. But Sonny Gray has been one of the best in all of baseball. He's racked up huge strikeout performances. You can get 7 strikeouts at plus 140 right now. If I were to maybe go to 8+, I'd be looking at Sonny Gray as well. So I like those two, and those are all my bets of the day.
There you have it. Make sure you download the Betting Pros app. Use the tools to make you smarter. Also, make sure you're joining our group because May is a new month. So the best person who is betting in our leading off group at bettingpros.com/leading off will get a hat, a t-shirt, maybe from Welsh's collection. I don't know, but we're going to give that stuff away too because we like to give away fun things here over on Betting Pros and Fantasy Pros MLB. Those are the best bets of the day for Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody. All right, Mike Mayer entered the chat and immediately asked if they talked about Mountcastle yet. Yes, we have. Okay, we talked about it already. The board obviously looks the same pretty much here. I don't see Mayer on the board. So as long as I don't see him on the board, we're all safe. So Welsh for the weekend, I'm keeping it simple. I'm going with the 1-1. He's swinging a hot bat here. He's at home this weekend. So just fish in a barrel for me. I'm looking to get at least one homer over this weekend with Juan Soto, if not two, because of that tiny little ballpark known as Yankee Stadium. Welsh, where are you going with your home run call for this weekend?
The little baby ballpark. I'm going to go with Bobby Witt Jr., at least for today. I'll probably jump in and make some alterations over the weekend, but going up against Michael Lorenzen, I'm going to get Bobby to get me on the board, and I want on Monday, 30 minutes earlier than we are normally broadcasting at 12. It's 9 o'clock my time, 12 at noon Eastern. When you guys are all here for the early show, I want to be on that board. I want to be at 20K followers on the YouTube. I want to be on the home run board, and I want you there early for all the big important meeting that we have after.
That's right. Big meetings. All right, let's get to a couple quick things here too. I see I'm a GD wizard. I traded away Cole yesterday with Tyler O'Neill, Volpe, Michael King, and Kowser. Got back CJ Abrams and Ohtani. This is a lot to take in here.
That is a lot.
The best piece in this deal is Ohtani. And the second best piece in this deal might be CJ Abrams. I think you won this, Wiz. What do you think, Welsh?
Yeah, I'm always about the best players. Is this dynasty? Is this redraft? Is this 10 team? Is this 12?
But I think Wiz just laid it out there. He traded a bunch of things that are, like O'Neal's been terrific. Volpe's looked really good. Cole is a question mark. And what'd you get back? 2 lock-in starters who are high-end top 50 players, top 20.
Yeah, it almost doesn't matter like what you're doing. I was only putting out the point like
it doesn't matter what you're doing,
what depth you killed on your team or something like that, but who cares? You got Ohtani and Abrams.
There's gonna be a lot of guys getting called up like Orelvis Martinez. We've been talking about Orelvis. I think he gets called up soon. Welsh, your thoughts here?
Yeah, they just got to find a spot. I mean, everyone is talking about Orelvis Martinez, actually, Scott. Yeah. We have been talking about him as well.
Talking about him.
He had an insane April. I think only 2 days in the entire month did he not have a hit. He hit 310. I just wrote him up and moved him up on the prospects to stash. The problem is finding the space. The offense could use it, but when they do, he's a shortstop. And they're not going to put him in place of Bo Bichette. So are they going to play him at third? Are they going to play him at second? If they do at second, okay, over Davis Schneider, what happened? Yeah, like they've just got weird stuff they've got to figure out. They could. Yeah, but some of these guys just have some of these teams have weird placement they got to find on prospects. I assume he's coming up soon.
Because the Jays have not been great, so they got to do something.
I mean, Bo Bichette has not been great either.
That is also a fact. But we've been great here, and we appreciate all of you hanging out with us on a fun Friday. Again, we'll be back noon on Monday, Eastern time. So wherever you live, do that math in your brain. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Peace.
Bye-bye.